Hello, guys. Today, Hervey's picking up chicken at Tysons Food. Well,
not made by me.
Not today. The day he recorded this video. I digress. It's a refrigerated, preloaded trailer. When he went to make sure it was working properly, he discovered it has some serious issues. Always check to make sure the reefer unit is working properly if you're picking one of these up. Also, with each load, they'll tell you what temperature it's supposed to be set at and whether it's supposed to run continuously or not. Now, so far, Hervey's done everything right. However, you'll see later in the video, he forgot to do something extremely important.
I had my day planned out, thought I was going to get some work done, but as trucking goes, there was a slight change in plan, not made by me. You get used to it, and you learn not to let it affect you. So I have the chance to redo a video I did yesterday. I loved the video, but it was quite noisy because I was driving. So we're talking about, I'm doing some trucking coaching for new drivers. And point number one. Oh, I thought he was coming to tell me that everything was cool, but he's not. So some trucking coaching for new drivers. Hey man, let's go. This is to help you guys have a wonderful experience out here. Number one is, dog, I put the notes. I looked at the video yesterday and I made notes, and it's in the phone that I'm using to record. But I wanted to make sure I touched on everything. For some reason, I just do a much better job when I'm driving and talking. I don't have to, don't worry, I'm not looking at the phone, but I don't know, driving helps me to focus. And when I'm sitting here, okay, I ran out of space, I had to start over again. Time to replace this, huh? Don't worry about it. I will do this again in a more organized fashion, but for right now, let's go. Number one, don't create any new bills, y'all. Don't create any new bills. A pattern I see is drivers will, especially depending on what's the background, you know, maybe you didn't have a job before, maybe you had a job that wasn't paying much, maybe you come from fast food, maybe you come from a warehouse, whatever. But you get out here, you have a steady job, predictable income to a certain degree, at least a floor level. Some of them have guarantees on the minimum amount they pay you per week. And you go to spending money. You're making money, you're spending it just as fast as you're getting it. You already, before you get the check, you know what you're gonna get. Saving nothing. Don't do that, y'all. Do not be out here just blowing money, buying stuff, new car, new rims on the car, new apartment and all that. Don't be out here just spending money all of a sudden because you have a job and income coming. No need of doing that. You hardly, because this is an opportunity to create a solid foundation so that you can build upon and keep going. Listen, ideally, you want to get to the point where you have a great cushion, you have investments, and you can take time off, and hopefully, ideally for you, is even bigger than that, and that you position yourself where the money is working for you. But we'll get to that. You got to start slow. So for right now, don't get out here and start spending money. I would love for you to put 6 months to a year aside so that you have that cushion of an emergency fund. Believe it or not, a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, you might end up hating it or falling out with the dispatcher or having an incident, and that company fires you. This is not uncommon. And then the incident might be one such that it's hard to get another truck driving job, or that incident combined with the small things on your record keep you from getting another truck driving job. Or because you have that gap in employment, you back at home and your spouse or your girlfriend or whatever hated it in the first place once you was gone, and now is pulling you back. No, I don't even go back out there or whatever. Create the cushion. That's why it's called emergency, is for unpredictable circumstances. All right, I've been there long enough, right? Don't create new bills. Number 2, pay off things as quick as you can. Get out of debt. Set a certain amount aside so you can go ahead and start building that cushion. If you don't have anything set aside, but outside of that, pay off everything. Get out of debt as soon as possible. Which one do you prioritize? Put more aside or pay off debt more? I would say put aside that cushion of 6 months more first. Just pay the minimum on your debt, whatever you've been paying. And set aside that 6 months first. Once you get that 6 months, then, of course, jump on that debt. And, of course, you got the Dave Ramsey approach where, and I kind of like that. I had to do that. And I'm back in the cycle of paying off some stuff now. But I kind of like the idea of paying off the smallest one first, get that out the way, and then work on the next one up and get that out the way. But it depends really on how small is the smallest one. For instance, if you're talking about $500 is the smallest one compared to $5,000 is a higher one. Maybe the smallest one is at 11%. The higher one is at 29%. $500, you can knock that off in a paycheck. Yes, get that out the way. Don't be paying $20, $30 on the smallest one, and then just get it out the way, get it over with. Let's deal with it, and it feels good, and it kind of like motivates you to go to the next one. But it might be tempting to try to get rid of that one with the highest interest rate. Maybe it's a few thousand, maybe it's 10,000, something like that. Knock stuff off the list if you can. Get it off the list real quick. So get out of debt, and then, should this be separate or this? Not separate. And also build your credit. So the next thing would be building your credit. You can get a free credit report every year. Get your credit report. See if anything's on there that shouldn't be on there, and dispute anything that shouldn't be on there. Even jobs that's over a certain period of time, especially if there was a bad experience there or if it was a short period of time, just clean it up some. And bad addresses, extra addresses, get that mess off of there. And if you don't have credit, go ahead, and I think it's good to have relationships with 2 or 3 banks. I actually have 5 banks. And I have accounts with 4 banks. And 1 has direct deposit. 2 has direct deposit, but 1 is direct deposit. It's just coming from a business, and part of it is going to personal from business as a paycheck. But the other one is directly from trucking, and the other 2, I just put money in there and I use them. And I have a Cash App and an account affiliated with them. I got Robinhood and an account affiliated with them. TD Ameritrade. I don't have a bank account with TD Ameritrade. But yeah. But I just say at least 3 banks, because now I can go to any of those banks that I have accounts at, and I have that history of over a decade. It's easier, much easier to get a loan on whatever. Whether it's for the car, whether it's for the house, for a mortgage, whether it's for a personal loan. I have a history, a relationship. And that's going to help you for whatever you decide to do down the road. Look at what each bank offers and figure out what's the best one for doing this. But if you don't have credit, then make a deposit and get a credit card against that deposit. Make sure they report. But if you do have credit, then once you clean up your credit, pay down your bills and everything, then go ahead and get a credit card just to use for the stuff that you have to spend money on anyway, like food and stuff you might need for the truck. And just pay that off every month so that you can establish your credit and build up your credit. All right, so that's number 3, because we're talking about how to make use trucking as a tool, how to use trucking as a tool for getting ahead, use trucking as a tool for success, use trucking as a tool to, all right. And so the 4th thing is, the fourth thing is, if you're single, stay single. Why? Because of all the things I just mentioned. I mean, if you're out here with a goal in mind and you're trying to work on yourself and position yourself and create a foundation, then getting in a relationship may compromise your mission. Because for a relationship to be successful, you have to spend time and energy in that relationship. You have to nurture the relationship. By default, it would imply that you spend time together, which means you would have to come home, or unless she's going to go on the road with you, that could change it a little bit. But still, what do? You just going to, can you really go hard like that on the road driving? Take a very special woman and just be about it and roll with you in that manner. On the other hand, you might have someone who, let's stop here, let's stop there, let's do this. Why do we have to drive all the time? Can't we do this? Can we visit this? Spend time here? Go out in this city? You know. If you're single, it's best to not even get involved yet. And other thing is, especially if the person is going to stay at home, then it's so much unpredictability that you're not even aware of yet. Like trying to get back home for an occasion or whatever. Things come up, you're not familiar with it, she's not familiar with it, it's new, and do she believe you? Or did you decide to do something else? Like if there was trust issues in a relationship, it's going to get worse. And if there's not, then they may start, because you also got to take into account that a certain percentage of the population has a negative idea of who we are and what we're about. So who are your significant other's friends? What are they saying in that person's ear? So you're up against all of this stuff when you're in a relationship.
Hervey had a phone call from the dispatcher at Food Lion.
Shucks.
He forgot to call and let them know how the issue was going to be resolved at Tyson. Remember to always keep the people in the loop. They love a good communicator. And if you think about it, everyone does, including you. So always reflect on how well you're doing in this area. It's another thing that Hervey loves working on. Have a great day, and we appreciate the contributions you make to the economy and every consumer's happiness.
Time to replace this, huh? Don't worry about it.